Alright guys, so here's the project, and it's a 560 litre tank. I've already started a little bit of the carving, as you can see. So that's the polystyrene at the back of the tank. What we're going to do, we're going to carve it all out nicely, and then there's going to be like a split level platform here, and then this side is going to be done as well. So I'm going to put it on a little time lapse so you guys can just watch me at work. Alright, so we've made a lot of mess, but we've also made quite a bit of progress on the tank. So we've got the back piece carved out, back two pieces. We've got the side piece carved out. We've got the platform carved out on the top. I need to actually carve out the underneath of this platform, and then make a plinth to support it. At the moment I've just got this one here, but I'll probably use that actually and just carve it up into a nice shaped rock that I can just stick right there, and it's gonna support this part of the land. In this corner here, there's gonna be the filter pipe, and obviously the filter is gonna suck the water in from here, but then it's also gonna spit it back in. And what I'm gonna do, I've got a piece here that I haven't finished carving out yet, but this piece is gonna sit there like that. So that's gonna hide all the pipes, and also the water's gonna flow back down there. I'm gonna make it so that the water flows back down here. So all of here is gonna become like a little kind of river system, what will trickle down back into the bottom. So that's the plan. I can't really do a lot more today, so I'll get back to you tomorrow once we've got some stuff to start coating it, and I've done a little bit, and I'm ready to do a bit more carving, and I'll get back to you. But for now, I think it's looking good. All right, guys. So what I've done is I've already coated it with concrete that gave it the kind of brownish look. I've coated it with drywall adhesive, and what I did was I just sprayed some water on it to give it that kind of effect. I'll let you see the effect I'm talking about. that kind of effect, like kind of craterish, moon rocky kind of effect. So I've got some cement now, which is gonna be a totally different color from these two colors. So I'm gonna cover it with a bit of cement, and then afterwards, I'll probably give it another coat with drywall. Drywall I'll let be the final coat because it's got a nice color to it. I like the light color. So what I want is, I'm gonna just fill this up. I've got it's quite a watery mix. It's a quite watery mix of cement. Obviously I've got down some covering, put something against the back wall, and then I'm just gonna pour it on. Trying not to damage the floor. Looks a little bit more darker now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dark set in. Maggie,
yes.
Could you get me the little bag of a concrete, plastic one? Yeah, there you go. You know, if you was an assistant at work, you know them 25 kilo bags, yeah? Yeah, sometimes you gotta move like 20 of them
It's like going
upstairs and stuff.
That's not bad.
And then the boards weigh the same as that as well, the lightest ones.
But when I used to do weightlifting,
I need something.
I was doing squats with more than that.
I need something like to
To what?
I'll use this.
You're not taking any spoon.
Have we got any paintbrushes in there?
Yes.
Can you get me a paintbrush, please? What I'm doing now is just giving it a little bit of a splash. Bring back some of that darker colour. I did erase a lot of it, but I wanted to strengthen it because it's only had like 2 coats so far, and I think I'm probably going to give it another. So it's had 3 coats now. I might do another 2 coats, so it's had 5 in total. I mean, it's starting to weigh a bit now. You could feel the weight of it now. It doesn't feel like polystyrene anymore.
No?
Feel it.
Yeah, it's a bit heavy.
Yeah. So
Here you go.
just that will do. There you go. paint it on. You can even paint it on any parts that you want. This bit's going to be hidden anyway, so I'm not worried about that bit. Right. Kind of happy with that look, to be honest. But always want to go a little bit extra. I'll give it another bit. Where's that bottle gone? Maggie?
Yeah?
Did you just touch the milk bottle?
No?
Oh, it's there. And you can see when you pour it on, like it looks pretty wet, but then it dries, like the water gets sucked out of it pretty quickly. There we go. So I reckon sides of this one. There we go. Alright, so that's it for now. We'll let that dry and then I'll give it another coat, final coat with drywall, finish it off, and then on Wednesday I should, the polyurethane coat should arrive because I want it to have a nice shine to it, but it's got the texture. This one here is this piece is not really going to be seen that much, so I haven't really gone for that much detail on that piece, but it's still got enough. But these pieces here, I like the, and you see the way it starts to dry, starts to really give it a kind of lumpy effect. And is there any water left? Yeah, if you just get a bit of water, or water for everybody who speaks properly, and just splash some water on a couple bits of it, and then you'll get it to drip. And I've got the background upside down right now because I want all the drips to be facing upwards, if you understand what I mean. So it won't look like it's dripping, it will look like it's spiking upwards, because those drips will be running the other way. So yeah, this is the bottom of the background and this is the top of the background. And that's another little tip what I do to get an extra finish on it. But more to come, and I'll be back soon with the magic of cameras. Alright, so I'm just preparing the surface. Give it a little scratch down. Get it a little bit rough. And then I'm just gonna coat this on. And I'm going quite thick with this. I'm just gonna use the whole tube. Don't be tight, because you don't want it to come off. You don't want to have to do this again. So just get it all over. Make sure you get it all over nice and thick. That's it. Okay. So now they're both ready. And a few little bits are going to break off of this before it's actually finished. Whoop. But we'll try to keep as much as we can. What you want to do is you want to get your next piece. Put that in. So get them corner to corner, get both your pieces in the corner. Then you can start bringing them together. Whew. Should be wearing a mask. It's a little bit higher now. Could you pass me that polystyrene, please? Thank you. Once I've got it in, we're going to need to wedge it. Let me line it up. Now that it's in, you need to wedge it against the back. So as I said, don't worry about any damage that you do, because we can fix that once it's in. We've still got a few more pieces to put in. So as long as though this is nice against here, we'll leave that to dry overnight and then we'll work on it some more. Okay, so with some effort, I'll flip the tank onto its back, which is what is going to be needed for the next process. And the next process is going to be get rid of this earthquake line, because this looks like it's two different pieces. You can see this is one piece, you can see this is another piece. And also, there's a few little bits of damage that we've done trying to get it in. Another little bit here as well. So things like this are going to be redone. Things like that. Also, now that it's in place, I'm going to also seal up the edges. So the edge is going to look completely like a solid rock all the way. No, you won't see no polystyrene, although I have kind of filed it down to a smooth corner-like edge. So you can barely see it from this side anyway, the profile. There you go, you see, it's very thin profile. So that's the progress so far, and I'll wait for the silicone to dry. Then once the silicone's dry, I'll start to load it back up with fill the gaps with either concrete or cement or whichever filler I choose to use, and then go about recovering it all. Once that's done, I'll put in the side piece, which is going here. For that process, I'll probably have to turn the tank on that side, which I'm not too happy about, so I might not do it. But then once that side piece is on and everything's all nicely blended in, looking like one whole piece, I'll put in the final platform here. Once the platform's in, that's it. Tank can be decorated and ready to go. Also, things like here, where the filter can go back in, I can drill through here, make it come through the rocks, so it kind of drips down the rocks. And what I might do is I might just make a few little holes along here, so that I run a little water system, and it just trickles down. Can just trickle down from the top bit here, trickle down there, and then I'm gonna have a waterfall in this part here as well. So we're getting there. Okay, so all I've done is I've just sprinkled a bit of drywall powder on the crack so far, because this silicone's still wet. But basically what I'll do is wait till the silicone's fully dry, and then I'll just give this a light spray in again with a little spray mist spray of water, just to mix it up and then set it off. I might add a little bit more colours, like cement colours, to it, who knows. I do actually have a cement dye somewhere, so maybe I'll bring that out as well and add a bit of that colour in. So let's see. Progress. Alright, we're on the final stages of the fish tank now. I've got the platform in place, I've got the support in place. You can see a bit of pink, but we will get it covered up. So what I've just been doing for the last bit is I've just sprayed in some expanding foam in the gaps. Sprayed expanding foam in the gaps, so So once this goes off, then I will cover it. I'll cover it at the rest of it, and then hopefully we can get some water in this week. So it's been a long process, but we're slowly getting there now. And I think that's quite enough space at the top for a land animal. We're gonna have a water feature running down here. So this is gonna be a river system. It's gonna be a river. So that's how it should work. We'll just leave it to dry now, and yeah, and then get to work on some more of it. Alright, so once it's all done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make some holes, like a few little holes, maybe one here, one here, one here, a couple just around, maybe a couple, one here, and I'm gonna plant some plants in there, so hopefully like little trees, so it's like little trees growing along the bank. That's the plan. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this to dry now, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do a bit more to it. I might not film it, but this was the last time you saw it, so we'll get back to it very soon. Alright, so we're back at the tank now. The expanded foam's dried a bit. I've just been digging out some holes. I'm going to put some potted plants in there, Anubis maybe. But here, this is going to be the waterfall, and this is going to be the main flow for the waterfall down here and down here. So what I plan to do is there's going to be obviously water coming down into this one as well. I'm going to make this like a lake, and possibly just like a little tank that maybe if we get any fish that we can just like any newborns, we can maybe isolate them just in this little bit of fresh water, and it's going to be obviously the same water flowing from the tank, so it'll be exactly the same temperature, and all should look good. But yeah, I've got a bit of patching to do, a couple of little pink patches that you can see, bit of pink patches, obviously the pots. The pots, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to patch the sides of them, but the bottom I'm going to leave open. Might even drill a hole through the wood. I've made it on a wood platform because the polystyrene platform that I made previously broke, but going for a wood base has actually made it a lot more solid, and with a lot more things that I can play with. So we've got our little stepping stones out of the tank, so that if there is any animals that climb and want to get out of the water, they can get out of the water. Obviously this bit's going to be the main water section. So we've not got a lot of room to work with, all in all, with the whole background, but it should look nice once we've finished. Anyway guys, I'm going to get on with it and I'll get back to you. Okay, so we're just testing out how the waterfall is gonna eventually work. So the water's gonna come in from here, probably at around that sort of pace. And if it comes through any faster than that, I may even just block up this entrance just a little bit, just so that it doesn't, not so much goes there. Might just block up that entrance just a tiny little bit, and then most of it will go to the end then, because I want it to go all the way. Ideally wash and all that stuff. All that up. But the pot here is wet. Pot there is wet. And pot there, no, that's not wet. But this one's wet. From that. And the little pond's still full up. So, just gonna recover it all. Once it's all covered, and I've hid everything, hid all the little bits of plastic and polystyrene and everything like that, this is gonna look lovely. So I think we're gonna have the water up, just up to like literally, I don't want to make the water splash into it. I just want it to drip into it. So, because I don't want to hear a constant like splash, that would be annoying. But just a little trickle into it, so it's trickling nicely. That's the kind of level I'm aiming for. But I need to do some recovering and a bit more carving over here, because we're gonna have some more water coming from this side as well. More water coming from this side, which is probably gonna cascade over here and then fall off of this edge. So unless I make it go into the river. And I might even make another little a little offshoot, just like somewhere around here. Like another little one, just like that. Another little one somewhere. But that's the plan anyway. So, thumbs up. So I'm just filling up the tank for the first time now since the job. I'm going to clear out all of this once the water gets to a decent level, because it all floats, thank God. And then I'm going to get the filter on and just filter the water for a bit, get it looking nice and clear. And then I'll probably go through a process of emptying it again, filling it up again. And I'm gonna cycle it for about a month. That's the plan anyway. Okay, so this is the corner by the waterfall, and what I've done is I've added a kind of bird's nest type structure. If you remember rightly, there was a kind of spiky cactus looking plant here. I've removed that and moved that to the back. That's now at the back. But what I've done is, I'm not sure if you can see, there you go. The twig is there, and the twig is basically supporting a branch that goes from there all the way around to the waterfall structure. And then what I did is just put twigs across, spray foam, and then spray it. It's like basically a bird's nest kind of structure. So this is a nice soft platform. It's got a little substrate base that you can grow plants in there. It's just like a big pot really, which is a bit more raised than the rest of it. But there's a few more things gone on since then. I mean, this is the tank complete now. So I've got some other bamboo shoots set up, strings set up, and all sorts of things. But I hope you're enjoying the build, and back with more soon. Right, so I've started to build, I built the stand. For how to build a stand, check my other video. But I use the same process for this stand as I did for that stand. It's just shorter. But now I'm going for a different process for the hood. So I've hammer fixed these to the wall. These are for making walls actually normally, but metal's very versatile and you can basically use it for anything. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up the next step and then I'll get back to your progress. Alright, back with more. So I've put a piece along here, also put a piece along here, piece along here. And actually, to be fair, I think even if I take this out, this should still be supported. There you go. So it's still supported. I mean, it won't take a lot of weight at the moment. It won't take a lot of weight. But if I was to leave this under here, like so, then you could put a hood on there now. You could put a piece of wood on top. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna put some extra supports across and then up to this edge. Extra supports up to this edge just to support this whole edge. And then once I put this in, I can attach the lights to the underneath, any heaters I need to the underneath, and then I can box all of this in with an access here and also an access at the side, and then access at the bottom as well. So there's going to be a couple little access points on this, but hopefully we should have it done in the next few days. That's the plan. Tank update. I've boxed it in. But this, I need to cut an access panel out of this. And I'm probably gonna have a door there. So I'm probably gonna cut this down to there and then make a little door, opening door. Paint it all white, get it all matched up. And there we go, looking good. Alright, so the last time you saw it, I did have that on. Told you I was going to cut a whole access panel in here. There's been a few changes since I started this tank. Since I first started the tank, I wanted to make a paludarium with half water and half land. And then I realized that the land structure is probably not going to be enough. So what I did was I made a small tank and I've put it on top of my existing tank. I have my lid here, and then this is on top, sitting on top. So in here we've got the branches, wood branches. I've literally just added this ivy plant. The ivy plant is there. I've had a few different plants there. None of them have survived. I had a baby Christmas tree, it died. I had a flower, it died. So I'm hoping that the ivy is gonna survive. I've tangled it around the ropes. I've tangled it around the branches. So hopefully it should just start to grow naturally on its own now and attach to certain things within the tank. But what else? Okay, yeah, so basically the platform what you saw in the video broke. So what I did was I cut a piece of plywood to the existing shape of the piece that broke, and then all I did was I added spray foam to the top of it. As you can see, there's a few little bits what I didn't show you how to do, but they are in my other video on how to make a background. So I'll post a link in the description, so you'll be able to check that out. And I'll just quickly show you behind this. So that's basically what I've done to support the tank. As you can see, the tank, the hood is freestanding. It supports itself. It's freely supported. I have a post here. I have another support here. Another structural support here. We've got the light. We've got the other light, which is also a blue light. And we've got the heat lamp. So I'm happy with it. Oh, let me just show you behind the tank. So basically, this is where the filter is. I have my intake pipe. This is my intake pipe. So it sucks the water out into the big filter. I do have a big filter. It's a FX. It's a FX6 filter. So it filters around 1500 liters per hour, which is more than enough. Very capable of maintaining this tank. So the water going back in, I have it split. So I'm not sure if you can see that pink thing there. That pink thing is attached to a garden hose, and the garden hose runs along the back here. Can you see it? So there's numerous holes in that garden hose, and the end of it is blocked up. The end of the hose is blocked up, so the water comes out of the holes. As you can see there, it's just dripping off of that rock at the back. You can see it trickling down the rocks, which is basically how I wanted it. So I have one bit of water going this way to fall down the rocks, and the majority of the water comes through here. We do have an atomizer in there now, so every now and again that will kick on. I'll just show you. I've got it on a timer, and I've got it set to come on twice a day, 3 times a day for an hour. So the atomizer is on, and the steam is coming out nicely. So it's on for a maximum, I think it's what, an hour a day, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, half an hour in the night time. And I think that's enough to keep it nice and moist in here. And the frog seems to like it. So I've got my I've got bamboo shoots set up. The reason why I've got these bamboo shoots set up is because I wanted water to go to certain places where there was not going to be water. So now this whole bird's nest is watered from this one little bamboo shoot. Whatever falls off of that drips down here. It waters this, and as you can see, the moss is taken off. It's got a lot of cress or things growing out of it, so it's taken off pretty well. Let me put that one there. So this one comes all the way from the main waterfall, drips all the way down into here. We've got another one set up at the back. That one drips there. Another one there, and another one right there. That waters the aquatic plant. So that waters, that sends water straight to the roots, and that keeps it all nice and watered. So there you go, guys. That's the tank. I hope you enjoy it. If you got any questions, just post them in the comments, and I'll try to answer any questions. Big up, big up, big up. Peace out.